What's up, everybody? This is Phil Rogacki.
And I'm Jared Abergina.
You're listening to Two Tree Guys Podcast.
Mic drop. Time for the mic drop.
What's up, everybody? Phil Rogacki here, bringing you a new segment to the Two Tree Guys Podcast. I'm excited about this one. As we have these podcast shows, we have guests that come in, we drink beer, we hang out, we hear stories, and this podcast is going to be a little bit different. I want this podcast to be some meat, some knowledge, something you guys can take with you and that helps you out in your day-to-day life, helps you out in your business, in sales, in marketing, in whatever you're doing just in life in general, but mostly for your business side. We have an absolute expert in marketing, a serial entrepreneur, public speaker, Army veteran, author of multiple books, and helped over about 400 companies grow their companies over the last 20 years in 20 different countries. No, not 20 years, 20 different countries, 10 years for that. Mr. Mike Volkin. So he's going to be on the show with us, and he's going to be bringing in different segments, maybe monthly, bi-weekly. We haven't decided yet, but it's going to be really neat for you guys to listen to this and pick up some ideas. And we'll also have it at night so individuals can come on live on this. So, Mr. Mike, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. I was promised a beer. I don't have one, but I'm sure that'll come soon.
I got a coffee. It
is pretty early, so maybe a beer isn't the best.
A Red Bull. I should have brought you a Red Bull.
Yeah,
Damn it.
True.
Damn it.
Didn't prepare.
No, man. I'm excited for you being a part of this team.
Thanks.
Joining the Two Tree Guys, joining the Academy, helping us really expand our market around the world. And for you to be on the show and your experience that you've had over your years in the military, working with all these different companies, writing books, working with a different group of individuals from all over the world, and helping them be able to grow their business. I'm excited to kind of, you new to the tree care industry, to take your knowledge over this time, over the next year, and to be able to watch it kind of transform for the tree care industry. So today we're going to deliver some things that you put together, easy ways to grow your revenue of your tree service. But before we start, let's hear a little bit about you, who you are.
I mean, look, I'm going to drop some knowledge bombs today, but it really doesn't matter if I have experience in the tree care industry. I've worked with over 40 different industries. Actually, probably even more than that. I just lost track after that. 20 different countries, as you said. I've been doing this for such a long time. In terms of me, I love growing a business. How I got into marketing is from a book that I wrote in the military called The Ultimate Basic Training Guidebook. I wrote it a long time ago, how to prepare for basic training. And then I just self-taught myself marketing like 20 years ago is when I started. And it started with something as simple as doing website updates and search engine optimization. And now I lead marketing teams for companies that need a marketing strategy, need to grow a marketing team. And it's just kind of, my career's evolved since then. So a lot of my business as well is like helping entrepreneurs grow start a side business and have it grow into a full-time job. So I just love sharing my knowledge, not just on marketing, but on just entrepreneurism as well. So
That's good. That's good. Yeah. And it's just in the short time you've been here, we had our Academy Summit meeting that we got together. You got to meet the team for the first time. It was the first week. We had a summit meeting. You came and you absolutely knocked it out of the park for us.
Thanks. I'm still full. So much food.
From Molly's cooking. Yeah, that was good. It was really good from that. So let's jump right in today and let's talk about easy ways to grow your revenue of your tree service. And I'll let you take it from here, and I'll have a lot of questions kind of going through this. And guys, if we get through all this today, awesome. If we don't, it'll be a part 2 to this. And if you have any questions or you need anything or like to be on the show, let me just say, go online, fill out an application, not an application, but fill out a questionnaire that you want to be on the show. If you have questions for Mike or myself or anybody on the show, there's also an area there that you can go on and fill out and ask your questions, because sometimes during the show we'll have questions we'll bring up and ask. But before we get diving into this, I want everybody to know we don't have sponsors on the show. You don't have all these freaking commercial breaks or anything like that, but we just ask you to pay the fee. And the fee is share it, tag us. If you get something out of this today, share it to your page, share it to a friend, tag them to it. That's all we ask. We don't ask for anything else from that. And if you don't like it and you hate it and you thought it was dumb, turn it off and don't share it. Okay? So, all right, let's dive into this.
Yeah, so if you're available to take notes, if you're not in your car driving, listening to this, that'd be beneficial, because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to talk to you about the basic framework that I call the first 5 letters in growing any company. So if you're out there, you're listening, hey, I want to start my own tree care business, or hey, maybe I'm in the tree care business and I want to start a side business selling, I don't know, blankets, just whatever. Any one of these tips for the rest of this show will help you. Okay, so the first 5 letters is a framework that is based on A, B, C, D, E. And there's no secret that is the first 5 letters of the alphabet. So just remember that. So this is a 30,000 foot overview of how you can grow a company. So letter A stands for attract new potential customers. I call them prospects, whatever you call them. You cannot grow a business, you cannot start a business without attracting potential customers. So you need to know how to do that. Okay. And then letter B is build, in terms of build a list of prospects. So at this point, they're called leads. So a prospect turns into a lead when it's someone of actual interest. Not 100% of everyone who contacts you is going to be interested in being a customer. Okay. So you have attract new potential customers and then build a list. C stands for convert. So you want to convert those prospects into customers. And we'll talk a little bit about how to do that. And then D, probably the most important on this, is deliver happiness to your customers. I don't know if you've heard of this stat before, but this is true. There's a lot of marketing studies that show this. But it's 19 times harder to attract a new customer than to keep an existing customer. So if you think about the effort that goes into, creating marketing material, building an outreach campaign, taking phone calls, versus just keeping someone happy when all they have to do is just pick up the phone and reorder, or go online and click the buy button, like it's 19 times harder. So why would you focus all of your attention trying to attract new customers? A lot of times when I go into a company, they'll give me a marketing budget and they'll say, okay, Mike, here's $10,000 a month to go find new customers. I say, okay, where's my budget for converting existing customers, right?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of disconnect there between the amount of money that goes into attracting new customers as opposed to converting it. We talked about delivering happiness to your customers and why it's so important to try to keep your existing customers happy, because it's 19 times harder to attract new ones than to keep existing ones. And the last thing you want to do, which we're big on in the military, is evaluate what has worked and what didn't. In the military, whenever we get done with a field movement or exercise, we all regroup and we do what's called an AAR, an after action review. We talk about what went right, what went wrong. Did the equipment break? Did the personnel not do what they're supposed to do, right? And a lot of companies never do that. They just get to work, they hustle, and they run around like chickens with their head cut off, and then they go home for the day, right? They don't actually evaluate what works. And if you don't evaluate what works and look at your numbers, then you're not going to grow. All right. So you have your A, B, C, D, and E as your framework for growing a company. So just to reiterate, A is attract, B is build, C is convert, D is deliver, and E is evaluate. Did all that kind of make sense?
No, absolutely did. And as you're saying these and going through my head, I mean, it's going through my head, I'm thinking of the times I focus more on getting new business rather than taking care of my existing customers.
Right.
The time, delivering happiness to a customer. Sometimes after the sale, we think that's it. Okay, we're done, and we'll wait for them to call us back. And in our industry, the majority of the people that are in the tree care industry are mostly for residential. And Miss Johnson, a lot of times they rely on Miss Johnson to call them back in 2 to 3 years. So they're constantly out there hunting, knocking on doors, new clients, referrals, but they don't focus on making their customer happy and creating something to where they can be they come back year over year, no matter what it is, and creating a plan for their customers.
I know. And it's not that hard to keep customers happy. You just got to be a nice person. And if you're an introvert and you don't want to keep in touch with people or develop relationships, there are things like emails, newsletters that you can just develop a list and just start blasting them on even a monthly basis. Keep your prospects and your customers top of mind by doing something easy like that. Will pay for itself 10 times over, if not more.
And having something like a marketing CRM program to keep your clients in there, to send out those auto emails to remind them, because a lot of the individuals are owner operators, so they're in the field all day. And when they get done with work, they come home and they're whooped and they're answering their phone all day. So having a program like this, and we'll give you guys a few of the programs that you can use or start looking into. This will help you streamline it without having to have you in the office.
That's right. And just to clarify, a CRM, for those of you who don't know, is customer relation management. It's a software where you can actually put in prospects, even customers' names, and know when to follow up with them next and be reminded, because a lot of times things will slip through the crack because you're not always focused on when you talk to Miss Johnson, say, did I speak to her 3 months ago or 1 month ago? Either way, the CRM system will keep tabs on all that stuff for you. It's really a way to organize.
Lifesaver, absolutely.
And we'll talk more about that in just a minute.
Awesome.
So you might be thinking, well, Mike, that's great. I don't know anything about marketing. Like, what do I do to get my name out there to attract new potential customers, which is attract is the first of the 5-letter framework. Well, let's talk about some tips on some easy things that you can do to attract new customers or even more customers without knowing anything about marketing. So the easiest thing to do is to get your business listed in online directories. Zero skill required. All you need is an internet connection. There are services like Moz, M-O-Z. It's called Moz Local. You can just go to Google and type in Moz Local. There's another one. There's actually a lot of them, but one of the most popular ones is called Directory Bug. And you can do this very hands-off. So you just sign up for Moz Local or Directory Bug. I think there's even one called White Shark that's popular or something like that, something with shark in it. But nonetheless, you sign up and you just enter your company information, your name, your email, your address. Make sure everything is perfect. Don't have any spelling errors. That's the big thing. So once your profile is perfect, Moz Local and Directory Bug will go out to all these other online directories and get you listed in every place. So if any prospect types in tree care providers near me or tree care service professionals near me, like, you're going to come up in any directory that shows up on their results, right? You might not be in the top, but
I've never heard of these. Ever.
Okay, really?
So
go ahead.
these never heard of these before. So I'm learning right now with you guys.
It's very hands off for you, and it's really just a kind of a one and done thing. And when there's a new directory that comes available, Moz Local or Directory Bug will send you an email alert. Do you want to get listed on this directory? Yes. All right. So.
Good.
Another thing you can do if you don't know about marketing is join a job matching service. There's Home Advisor, for example. You can find homeowners looking for tree-related services on Home Advisor, and there's a few more like Home Advisor. Of course, in this case, you're going to have to pay for the leads, but if it's worth $20, $30, $40 to get on the phone with someone, then I'd say go for it, because services like Home Advisor make it really easy for you to have the business coming to you, right? It's a very passive way. You're not out there making flyers, door knocking, making calls, right? They're coming to you, so it might be worth that few extra dollars.
Absolutely.
One more thing that you can do, actually a couple more. First of all, create partnerships with local businesses. Now, there's a little bit of work involved in here, but it goes a long way this isn't a short-term play. This is a long-term play. So, for example, if you don't offer landscaping services, go to a landscaping company and say, hey, listen, I know you knock on a lot of doors. I know you fulfill a lot of jobs. I'll give you 10% of the contract amount, or a certain flat fee, $100 for every customer you send to me that mentions that they need tree work, or I'm in their yard and I'm going to mention to them that there's a tree that is encroaching on your neighbor's property. Why don't you call these guys? So you can give them a special code. You can even give them a special phone number that's just for them. Go to grasshopper.com, sign up for a phone number, and you can give every single one of your partners a separate extension, so you know that call comes from them, and you can credit them with the right
Say that again about Grasshopper.
So grasshopper.com is just one of many services, but it's the most popular. What you do is you get assigned a phone number when you sign up for Grasshopper. And with those phone numbers, you can get like 1,000 extensions. So let's just say you own a landscaping business. I say, hey, Phil, I'm going to pay you $100 for each phone call you generate. Okay, so here's my number. It's 1-800-774-1611 or whatever, right? But it's going to say extension 103. So I can go into my Grasshopper dashboard for the month and I say, okay, 103 had 7 calls this month. You guys generated 7 calls for. I'm going to give you $700. Or you don't even have to do that. If you want to just say 10% of the contracted amount, you just know who you talked to on Grasshopper, even how long the phone call lasted, the recording of the call. Like you have a record of everyone all through this one dashboard. So it's a really easy way to keep track of people who are referring calls to you because everyone has their own extension. So
that and that's awesome, especially when you monetize it for these individuals of just, man, they're going to want to pass out your number to everybody and having cards, making cards for them and going, oh, here's your own cards you can pass out for me with your extension number on there. In doing this, I know this type of partnership works. When I first got in the tree care industry, quick little story was I had to knock on a lot of doors to get the business. And I met a friend of mine who introduced me to somebody that was in the furniture rental business called Brooks Rental for furniture for multifamily. And she opened the door to 50 other clients that she's worked for the last 10 years. And she goes, hey, this is my friend Phil. I want you to introduce. And I was able to bid the majority of those clients. So then eventually I met another friend that was in painting. They opened up doors. So the vendors in these industries are the key. They have the relationship. I don't even want to even knock on doors. I want to go to the people that have already built the relationship and go to them because they're going to open up all the doors for us. And that from that kind of relationship turned into a group we started called BABA, Bay Area Vendor Alliance with ours, where we meet once a month, all the different vendors that service the multifamily industry. And these vendors are all different service based, from painting to garbage to building to carpet. We come together, we share leads, and we work together to have parties and events. And that's what really helped blow up the tree care business I was in and expand exactly what you just said. And,
cool.
and it is. It's one of the things that in any business, find your partners, find the landscapers, find these individuals that can open up the door. If they're painters, they're going to houses that have trees. If they're carpet, they're going to houses that have trees. So
absolutely,
it's very good.
Don't make it a big project if you don't want to. If this doesn't sound like your thing, it's called a hot list. So start off with a hot 10. All right. So it's your top 10 companies that you want to get in contact with. Some people go to a hot 100, whatever. Make your hot 10 list, make your hot 25 list, whatever, and just start reaching out to your hot 10 list and try to make partnerships. Look, if you accept a job, if you're a landscaping company, for example, and you accept a job for $2,000, you can make an extra $2,000, even $5,000 just on referrals and upsells, just telling the homeowner, listen, I can fix this garage door. I can fix this. I can get this tree trimmed. I can do this. I can the crack in your driveway. I know a great cement guy, right? So, I mean, just from that alone, you could double your revenue just from having cross sells and upsells.
And you're being such a better service provider to your client to go, a concrete guy? Yeah, I trust him. Well, I trust you in my trees. If you trust him in concrete, okay, let's bring him in. Now everybody starts working together for providing a better service to that client.
That's right. That's right. If you leave here with nothing today, here's your homework assignment. Go make a hot 10 list for your area of companies that you want to network with. You'll be surprised on who's willing to contact you back because it's a two-way street. They make money, you make money, everybody's growing their company. And you know what? The end result is the homeowner's happy because they don't have to go searching randomly online for a tree care provider when someone that just did their landscaping did a great job for them and provided a glowing referral for you, right? So,
and I always, with my clients, I would go in and I would talk to them about their trees. I would take care of their trees, and then I would ask them. I said, "Who's your landscape company?" Because they've done a wonderful job. They'd give me the name. Who's the manager that manages this? And I would get that, and then I would, do you have their contact? And then I would contact them directly because if my client was happy with them and they were happy with my work, then that's probably somebody I want to work with. Especially when I start seeing them on multiple different properties. Let me contact them. Who just did all your painting? Oh, Varsity Painting did this. Oh, great. Do you have the contact? I want to call them. I want to see if I can work with them. Since they're a great provider to you, I want to see if I can work with them. Then we can provide other clients like yourself around the area great services also.
Even better yet, I have them on my phone. You want me to dial the number? You can call them right now.
Varsity Painting?
Yeah. All right. No, I'm just like in general.
I'm like, you know them? I know them.
Don't leave it up to the customer. If you want to take it one step further, don't leave it up to the customer. Say, here he is. Like, hey, if you have 5 minutes right now, I'll get him on the phone. I'll make an intro, like right there live,
Bingo.
Something like that.
Bingo. So much more personal.
Yeah, so we're talking about right now, just to recap, easy tips for anyone to do to grow your company, regardless of the company, and regardless of your marketing skill set, right? So we talked about getting listed in online directories. We talked about a job matching service like Home Advisor. Be sure you're on that, where you're paying for leads. And we just got finished talking about creating partnerships, your Hot 10 list, your Hot 25 list. One more tip I'd like to offer, these are easy tips for anyone to do to grow a company, is set up local ads. Now, this might seem kind of obvious, but I'm going to give you a tip here. Everyone automatically defaults to Google Ads. It's whenever you go to the search engine, you type in something, you see the first few results are always ads. You pay for those clicks. But there's also a search engine that has 20% market share that no one really ever talks about anymore. Do you know what that is? Bing.
Bing?
Remember Bing?
Oh, shoot. Bing.
Believe it or not, it still has 20% of all the searches on the internet. And they're growing. Bing is actually a pretty cool search engine. There are others too that have like 2% market share or less. 20%. Google only has 80% of the market share. So Bing is a really good way to bring in cheap traffic because people that do use it, and this is just stats. I'm not, saying I've validated this or anything, but people that use Bing are usually of someone maybe like white collar, someone who has a 9-to-5 job that is usually too busy. So what they usually do is refer out to other people rather than trying to bring in someone of their own network. So they are more likely to click on ads. It just shows the stats show that people on Bing are more likely to click ads than people on Google. And it might also just be the fact that people are kind of tired of all the ads on Google, right? So Bing doesn't have nearly as many ads and there's not nearly as many advertisers. So Bing clicks are cheaper. So if you're paying $2.50, even $4 for one click on Google, go over to Bing. It might cost you 28 cents for a click, but you're going to get 1/5 amount of leads, but that averages out. You multiply 5 times 28, you're paying $1, right? So, and the people on Bing are more likely to refer out to someone that they've seen in a cold ad rather than a referral because you're literally searching for someone that, tree care provider. I'm not going to ask my neighbor if they know of anyone. I'm going to go on the search engine. So the demographic on Bing is more likely to be conducive to cold traffic than Google.
And what I would like to see on another episode down the road is Bing. You get a click. They come to you. You get a lead. What do we do with that lead afterwards? From picking up the phone, what do we say? How do we close them? How do we look? I mean, the whole process of really drawing them in and giving them, because right away when you pick up the phone, you're marketing yourself and you're marketing your company. So we'll save that for another episode. Keep that in your mind. But because that's a lot of times they get on the phone like, what do I say? Oh, you need trees done? Yeah. Okay, we'll come to your house and give you a bid. No, let's start building that relationship right there and having some type of script or something. I think these companies and these individuals selling the work can really benefit from.
That's right. I could do 10 episodes on that. There's a lot of strategy around Google. We can get really into it if you want, but just don't forget Google, Bing, even YouTube. We didn't talk about that. You can pay for ads on YouTube if you have a good company video. A lot of cool strategies around that. And again, you're paying per click. You're paying just like Home Advisor for a lead. But if you have a few extra dollars, it doesn't hurt. And I've seen companies grow solely on paid ads, like through Google, Bing, and YouTube, and no other marketing. So awesome.
Even if you're just one-man band that's out there, all this stuff. It doesn't mean you have to be a big company. It doesn't mean you have to have all this. You can start off small, be a one-man show, and guess what? Your competition isn't doing this because some of this I haven't even heard of. And we're a pretty big company and I haven't even heard of this stuff. So if I haven't even heard of it, that means a lot of other people probably haven't heard of it. Or maybe I'm just the only one that just hasn't heard of it that's out there. But start doing what your competition's not doing and you're going to get a lot more business and really grow. So
I'm not looking at the comments, but I can bet there's someone out there saying, Mike, I don't know how to do Google ads. And this is supposed to be a topic on easy tips for anyone to do. So what you do is you go to Upwork.com. UPWORK. It's the largest freelancer site in the world. You sign up for an account and you just enter, in the search bar, Google Ads Expert, and you'll get a lot of them. So you can find someone for a few dollars to set up a really good Google Ads campaign or Bing campaign for you. One phone call, it's done. It's done by a professional. A few $100s. It's worth it. You can keep Google Ads or Bing Ads running for as long as you like, and you can turn them off with a couple clicks of a mouse. So really easy.
And this show is going to be on for you guys. So if you're listening, you're driving, it's going to be on our YouTube channel, Two Tree Guys. Go on there. and listen to it. And then also on the Academy, we'll start creating, it's not just in the field education and training, but we're also going to have the business development side of education and training that'll be on the show with Mike speaking on a lot of this stuff.
Great. One last easy tip for anyone who wants to grow a company, regardless of what industry, is offer a referral fee. Now, yes, people are going to, from word of mouth, going to refer you if you do a great job. But if you offer a referral fee, it just makes it that much, gives them that much more incentive to do that. Make it straight across the board, so you're not playing favorites. But it could be something as simple as, hey, I'll give you $100 or $10 for every phone call generated, or for every contract signed, however you want to structure it. It could even be a gift card. I had somebody, a couple people actually, offer Amazon gift cards for every phone call generated. Like, how cool is that? Or Starbucks gift cards. This guy walks around with just a pile of Starbucks gift cards, hands them out to anybody who, hey, you know what? Generate a call for me. Here's $5. Here's $10. Whatever keeps them top of mind. It just, money is just, or gift cards are just that much more of an incentive for them to really push for you. Okay.
And on that part, on the referral, when I worked for the UFC gym, we had something to where every single client that we'd sign up to the gym, we handed a piece of paper with 10 names on it, and we'd ask them to put their 10 friends and their phone numbers of people that need to come to the gym. Okay. And I'm going to give them a free pass to come in on your behalf, and it was a referral. And then I gave them something, you know, free supplements or something by filling that out. Cool. But then that was keeping our lead list going. So in there, in the tree care side, when you're done with the sale, you provided a great service, like you said, giving them something of a card that they write their name on and it says, hey, hand this to a friend. This is a $400 off or $200 off their tree service. And when I get this card and it has your name on it, I send you a $50 Amazon gift card, every single one. Cool. And when they have 3 of those, they keep them. They're like, yeah. And then all of a sudden their friends come over and they're barbecuing and go, oh, shoot, you know what? I got something for you. Here you go. And they start calling off that. So referrals are huge.
Yep.
Huge.
Or free company swag. Well, I'm glad you're offering them money at the UFC gym and not like a punch in the face or something. So it doesn't seem like that would be.
They got that too. They just got it later down the line.
So those are the ends of my easy tips. I mean, there's a lot we can talk about more, but those are the 5 easiest ones. Now we can dive into something more, advanced, or we can talk about something else, or we could take comments. I'll let you determine where we go next on this, but the general rule is we're talking about, or the general topic here is how to grow a business. So we can go in a lot of different directions there.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep going. I want to go. We did some easy tips. Let's just go into pro tips.
Okay.
For that, because I know there's some other people out there that have been at this at a long time, and they're like, yeah, it's done it. Maybe, even though half of the things on the easy tips I did not know, and I've been doing this for a while. But hearing about the pro tips, let's talk about that.
Okay. Well, the first one that I'd like to bring up is called retargeting. Now, even if you're not a pro, this is important for you to know. Every time you go to a website, believe it or not, there's probably a piece of code that is downloaded to your computer. It's completely legal. It's called a cookie. It's just like a cookie you eat, but it's not physically a cookie. It's a little piece of code.
And that's why on every single new app that you download or website that you go on now, it wasn't like this like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
Do you want to accept all cookies?
So annoying.
Every single one. And I'm going, what the heck?
I know.
Did something change in the last 6 months over this?
Yeah. Yes, there were some laws. It all started in the EU, in Europe, and people are just getting mad that all this piece of code were on their computer and other things. So they passed this law that says now we have to disclose, but now the problem is nobody really reads it. They just know you go to a new website and you click accept, right? It's just by default, but you have to do proactively click accept. But that is exactly what it is. But the reason for that is because when code is downloaded to your computer, your browser can now track what you're doing. So you want to utilize what's called retargeting ads. And retargeting ads are available on, we've talked about Google. They're available on Bing. They're available on Facebook. So let's just say that you wanted to buy a new pair of shoes. Okay, so you go and you type in men's shoes, brown leather shoes. You visit a couple websites, you don't buy anything. All of a sudden, you go to Facebook and you see shoe ads. You go to Google and you see banners in the sidebar that have shoe ads. Like, how in the heck does this happen? Like, that's because you visited a website that had cookies that says that you're interested in shoes at this very time. And every single time, unless you reset your browser settings, that for the next 90 days, 30 days, 7 days, whatever those cookies were on that website, you're now being served ads by all these other competitors. Yeah. So
you don't even have to click anything anymore. You just have to talk about it with a friend, right now, and they're all of a sudden I'm like, What the heck? A trip to Hawaii? How did they even know? I didn't even look up anything.
It could have been tied to an app on your phone. Maybe you're on Expedia and you typed in, right? So then your phone then shows your browser that it's all connected. It's crazy. So, but you can take advantage of that. Those are called retargeting ads. So just like you set up Google ads for cold traffic, you can set up ads for people that visit your website that had now know your name and know your website, that you want to get them back. So the general number here is that for people that visit your website, cold traffic, 2% of them are going to call or less, depending on the quality of your website. So if you think about, you bring in 100 pieces of traffic, all that work you did to bring in traffic, only 2% of them are going to call. That's 98% waste, right? So if you have someone come into your website and then seeing your Facebook ad later, and then seeing your Google ad 7 days later, 10 days later, 15 days later, multiple times, how much more likely are they to come back to your site during that 90-day period that the cookie's on your computer? So it turns that 2% into 10%, 15%, 30% or more. And with minimal effort, you're not gonna, constantly doing that cycle of cold traffic, 98% waste. It's like, so retargeting ads are very powerful, and they're a lot cheaper than cold ads that you would set up a new normal Google Ads campaign with. So utilize Google ad retargeting, Facebook ad retargeting, and you'll see your website traffic have a lot of recurring traffic, which actually also helps your website ranking too. So it's a big cycle. Good stuff, right?
Yeah. And guys, listen, a lot of these things we're talking about here, we're going to be more in depth in the long run, and take something like you just said, and we'll have a whole show on this. So, today it's cool just to kind of go through some different tips and talk about some things at a high level. And then down the road, so everybody kind of gets a taste of this. And then down the road, we'll dive into a lot more of these topics here.
So the next tip, the pro tip I'm going to give you, is focus on your reputation. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to ask you what a reputation is here in a minute. But I want you to focus on being as customer-centric as possible. A lot of people go to work, especially one-man shows. They do their job. They don't look at their online reviews. They don't look at their comments. They don't know what a Google alert is. They don't know if they put their company name in a Google alert, and they can now monitor everything that's going on. Everything that's being said about their company comes into their inbox. Like, you have to be as customer-centric as possible with your company, or you're not going to last very long. Because if you have a bad reputation online, that is next to impossible, if not completely impossible, to clean up. There are companies that do reputation management services, but they're extremely expensive and only for like very top companies. So once your reputation is broken online, it is nearly impossible to grow your company to where you want it to, because people use the internet to research. So we can brainstorm right now is, what does a reputation mean to you? When you say, I have a good reputation, what does that mean?
When what's the saying? You take a lifetime to build a reputation and a day to lose it for that.
Exactly.
It's my word. It's my trust that individuals have in myself of what I say, what they perceive me as, the things I say. Am I telling the truth? Am I not telling the truth? And I mean, their story about me and who I am as a human being.
Perfect. That's right. And I like that saying, it takes a day to lose it, because it's so true. I've come into companies, great product or service, great talent. Their reputation is crap. And it's so hard, no matter what I do, to bring in more traffic, convert more traffic, make the prices more attractive, or make the product better. It doesn't matter, because the conversions never really increase, because people go to Google and they say, oh, last 300 customers that posted online gave it 3 stars or less, right? So monitor your reviews and do whatever you can. If you're not, for every single customer that you have that says, hey, thanks, great job, like, always tell them, please go to Google, please go to Yelp and give me a good review, because my reputation, I use this. My reputation is my lifeblood. I like the word lifeblood because it's kind of weird, but it also shows, it's a weird term that people remember, but it also shows how important it is. Like, a lifeblood sounds like it's a pretty important term. So I always say, hey, please go to Google, please go to Yelp. Those sites like those are my lifeblood. It helps me service customers better.
And I'm gonna something Ryan said on the we just released his podcast here. He was with us a couple months ago, but he grew a company in Utah from nothing. He bought it for $50,000 from a leprechaun, or got $50,000 from a leprechaun on the street that hit him with his car on a skateboard, which he bought this company. Anyways, you got to hear the episode to understand the funny story. But he took that, bought a company that was existing, a small little company, built it up to one of the largest companies in Utah. What was his key to secret? I mean, what was his secret? I mean, how did he do this in such a short time? And he said, I just did what I said I was going to do. That was the big. If I said I was going to be there at 8 o'clock, I was there at 8 o'clock. If I said I was going to call you, I called you. That was it. That was his secret to this. And that's 101 in any business. Do what you say you're going to do. But that built a reputation for him that if Ryan said he was going to give you the best work, he was going to give you the best work out there. If Ryan said he's going to be here at this time, if Ryan's going to give you the best price, he's going to do that. And that spread to everybody where he couldn't even keep up with his growth for that. So, and which turned into he was able to sell his company to Save-A-Tree, one of the largest companies in the country. And now he's working as a trainer, flying all over the country, training individuals, and live on the East Coast.
Wow.
Because he did what he said he was going to do.
That's so cool. It seems pretty easy to say something like that, but doing it could be hard, at least consistently for a long term like that.
Yeah.
So focus on your being customer centric as possible, like Ryan did, and getting traffic, getting customers will be so much more easier to convert them. Another pro tip is go out of your way to get video testimonials. There's so many fake testimonials. I can go to 10 different websites right now, and like 8 of them will have some kind of crappy written testimony with a stock photo that looks fake as hell, and you know it's not real. And it just immediately gets rid of any trust that you have.
Or it's the doctor on the info commercials at 2 o'clock in the the that's
with a
like
guy liner on. And he's like, it's like not even a real doctor.
No, it's just some actor.
Just
I'm
a
like,
lab
oh
coat.
gosh, I'm not going to buy this product. Okay, I don't believe this.
Yeah, nothing against anyone that's listening that has guy liner on, but it's just weird. So go out of your way to get video testimonials.
Wait,
They're
what is it
rare.
called?
Guy liners. When you put the guys that use eyeliner. Yeah, you've never seen those?
Guy
Oh
liner.
man, it's
Well, I
crazy.
didn't know it had a name to it.
Yeah, it's called guy liner.
Did you do it?
No, I wish I could take credit for that, but it's not. So video testimonials are hard to fake, almost next to impossible to fake. So next time you have a happy customer, hey, I'm leaving. Thanks. Nice to meet you. I hope I can see you again. Would you mind? I'm going to pop up my iPhone real quick. Just give a quick 10 seconds of how much you enjoyed my services or how much, give us a before and after and how we're on time. Talk about a couple things. I like to always feed them a couple bullet points they can talk about because some people really don't like being on camera. You'll be surprised how many people are just happy to do it. Especially if they like you.
You'd be surprised what they actually say. You're thinking, hey, they like me like this, and this is what they're probably going to say. And then all of a sudden they start talking. You're going, holy smokes, I've inspired their life.
I know.
I'm like one of their children. I mean, they love me to death.
That is very true.
The truth comes out when they get on the camera.
I know. Yeah, there's probably be things that they like about you that you didn't even think about.
Yep.
Right?
Exactly.
So be sure to get videos and use them all over your website, all over social media, because that stuff's hard to fake, and it does separate you out from your competition because a lot of people don't utilize video testimonials.
Awesome.
So here's a pro tip. It's called citations. It's when your business info, like your phone number, your address, are listed on other local sites. And there are companies that will do this for free, and it will actually help boost your rankings. Now, we talked about at the beginning of this podcast, getting your business listed in online directories. That is very similar. In fact, a lot of these online directories are considered citations. The reason why you want citations is because Google has this thing called an organic ranking. That means when someone types in find a tree care provider in enter zip code, whatever, you're going to come up at the top of that list without paying for ads. The more citations you have, the better your chances of ranking at the top of Google are. So for a pro tip, understanding just what citations are and the fact that you can buy them and get them 40, 50, 100 at a time just with a couple clicks of a mouse will make it so much more easier for your website to rank. So go out and look at how to get citations. And there's companies out there. I think there's Bright Local. There's one called Quillbot. There's a whole bunch of them where you just sign up for an account and you can buy a whole bunch of citations for your local area. So get that.
Wow. Well, I've learned in a very short amount of time that we've had this kind of first podcast. I've learned a lot. Like I literally have 1,000 questions after we hang up of asking you about all this stuff. But
should I clear the rest of my day?
Yeah, clear it all. But guys, listen, this is today was just like I said. It was a day that just high level, some easy tips for you to kind of take away for today, some pro tips of things we're going to get in a little bit more in depth. And just kind of what's coming. I mean, so many different thoughts are in my head right now of, man, we need to start designing the school and the teaching on this to be on the academy, on the page, on our learning management system that's coming. This podcast is going to be on YouTube that you're going to gain some information and some knowledge. And it's not always about the tree care side and climbing trees and working in trees, but also the front end. And that's what we kind of built this show on with Jared and myself, and now having you being a part of this, is the front end and back end, and that dynamic duo working together. The someone that can go out and sell and market and do the work, and then somebody that's going to go perform it for the customer to make them happy with the service that was promised, from the front end of that. So we're going to be bringing a lot more of this to you guys. So it was awesome, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
What other tips do you want to give, before we end the show to anybody?
We can open up a whole can of worms here. I would just say the last tip is just do it. Like, there's a lot of tips that were given in this podcast. Like, just pick one or two that interest you the most and just do it. Like, make it a homework assignment, put it in your calendar. And just starting off with a small baby step and doing one thing and seeing a result will motivate you that much more. And I could tell you, I just finished talking to you about asking for likes, asking for video testimonials. Like, if you enjoyed this podcast episode, please give it a thumbs up or give a little comment. That helps us spread the word too to so many other people. So I need to ask you to do that. Everybody is listening.
And I'm smiling right now because literally this morning I listened to a podcast show, Andy Frisella, Real as AF. And one of the questions that were asked to him is it easier to make $1 or make $1 million? And
Same.
he said dollar is probably the hardest. And the reason why it's the hardest, because everybody just doesn't take the step and do it. They're like, they analyze it. How do I do it? They research, just do it. And what you just said, just freaking do it.
Just do it.
Listen, you're not going to be a professional at everything I just said. Just do it. Try it. Yeah. And guess what? You're smarter than you were yesterday. So just do it. And so hearing that twice today, I think it's telling me something. Whatever it may be in my life, I'm got to look for it, but I need to just do it and stop talking about it.
Yeah, just make it a daily goal. When you wake up tomorrow, I'm going to do this one thing that really made my ears perk up that Mike said on the podcast the other day. Just one thing. Like, it's so much harder if you have 10 things. Like, I want to do them all. Like, and then you make an excuse that you never have time to do the 10 things. Just pick the one right now. And then when you like it and you get a $40,000 contract, pick another 2.
Just do one.
Yeah.
There's a quote today on Unfuck Yourself that says, you've been living your life according to the past, but you now need to make the pivot to make your life about what's new, about your potential and your legacy. New emotional approaches, new behaviors, new habits, the kind of stuff that demonstrates the life you want. So do something new today, guys. Go out there, do something new, change. Don't live in the past for that. So again, appreciate everybody being on this new episode, this new show. I don't know what we're going to call it, but it'll have a name. Mike's going to come up with something awesome. Leave
a comment. If you have a comment, maybe a marketing corner or something like that. Let me hear what your ideas are, and maybe we'll pick someone and we'll give a little prize or something. If we use their name as a first segment.
Good. We're going to do that. So if you like the show, share it, tag us, put it out there in the universe for us, so other people can enjoy this and also get something out of it. So till next time, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you. Bye.